Gephi is a tool I co-created some years ago. I'm not the main developer. Developing this big tool is far beyond my abilities alone. So there are more skilled developers deal with it, but I'm still kind of the project manager in some ways. You can download it from here. I just have at the moment we have a slight issue, which is that for if you have a Mac and if you ask to download, it's not entirely clear whether the snippet understands whether your computer is an Apple Silicon or an Intel chip. So if it doesn't work when you install on a recent Mac, it might be because of this. Then you have to go through the manually downloading what is what. So, but aside from that, so that's the Gephi desktop as we call it, and there is also a Gephi Lite version which is in your browser. So if you can't install anything on your computer, and if your data is not too big, you can still use Gephi in the Gephi Lite mode. Let me start with Gephi Lite. So you open in the browser, and nothing goes on a server. Everything that is happening here happens locally, except if you save your file or if you download your file from online, which is typically GitHub. One second, I have too much light. Better. Yeah, but I could do my analysis with Gephi Lite with the sensitive data in the browser. I could shut down the Wi-Fi; it would still work. It's just using the browser as a platform. So in this example is just a characters from Les Miserables, the novel, and they are connected when they appear a lot in the same chapter or in the same paragraph, no chapter. Right. So you have the nodes, as we call them, these big dots. They have labels. You can click on the background and move it, and it will move the view. You can do a number of things here on the left, and you can also see the network as data here on top. And you can apply your layout. You can apply colors and so on. Here it's already there. So what you want to do is rather maybe to explore the nodes. So if you click on a node in Gephi Lite, you can see what it has in it. Now, if you want to, let me just kind of reinitialize the network. I am going to randomize the layout, and I will be using the colors as, yeah, I'm getting back to how a network loads usually. So that's how you would get a network if you load something. It has no layout and it has no colors and nothing. And we don't see anymore the structure of the network. The point of using Gephi is to see the structure of the network. So what you do is first you would apply a layout. So in Gephi Lite is here on the left, layout. I'm going to go force/2. You have a little, on the bottom here of the screen, you have a little wand. You click on this, it will guess good parameters for the layout. You can then start it. And then hopefully it brings back some structure. Yes, there's some structure is here. You could edit those settings. So for example, here you could, the scaling ratio is impacts how the amount of space the network takes on the picture. So if I put 100 instead of 10 and I apply it again, it's going to be bigger. You have those kind of things. I'm not going to go too much into the details of how to parameterize that, but this is something you can figure out by yourself by trial and error. Yeah. So, or you ask me for how to navigate that, but that's kind of a different question. I'm just kind of showing you how to operate the basics. The other thing than the layout would typically be the color and size of the nodes and edges, and this is in appearance. I want to act on the nodes. Maybe like I'm going to put the background in black. It's more nice, and it will force us to make some different choices. So nodes, I could choose a given color for the nodes. I could put them white because it's good against the dark background. But basically, you want to do a data visualization. So typically, you would like to use the color as a function of something that makes sense to you. This depends on your data set. Here, it could be the modularity, and it has been computed, and basically it gives the community. So each community will be in a different color. So I am happy with those colors. And the size could be a proxy for importance. And here I'm just going to go with degree. Degree just means the number of neighbors in a network. So the nodes that have more neighbors, so the characters that have interactions with more characters will be bigger. You do you, it depends on what you want in your kind of network. But yeah, this is how it is. I have an issue because I can't read the labels because they are black over the dark background. So I can go into labels, label, so set label from, so this is what kind of label we want to display. The column label is the good label. And now I want to act on the color. So this is label sizes. Where's the nodes label color? Do I not see it? Well, either, or is it here in the nodes? No, labels. Ah, interesting. So that we do not have yet the label for the color for labels. I should. Then if I am like this, then the black background is not a really good color. Yeah. So let me go back to a lighter background. Yeah. Yes, and the same goes for the edges. So I could have the edges as either a constant color like this, but I could also use this as a color the source node as the color, which maybe makes the communities more nice. So you have some decisions to make here. Gephi Lite is a more recent project than Gephi, so even though it tries to have as many as many of the features of Gephi in the browser version, it's still catching up, and it will never be able to handle as big networks as Gephi. But it is also it has also better features in some ways. For example, this bar on the right is really useful to navigate to explore your data. So stuff for Gephi Lite. You also have some filters. And you can also compute a few things here. They are here on the left, but I will show you that in Gephi instead. So that's Gephi Lite. And I want to show you the similar things in Gephi. So now I'm going to run Gephi. So I will run the Gephi desktop version now. And I will run today's version, but technically you can also get the latest versions, the in-development versions, but then I will also run into some bugs if I do that, because that's what it means to be in development. So okay, I hope you see the screen well enough. I hope on the recording it will be not too small. I can't really scale the UI well. Okay, so Gephi is open. I need to open a file, the file that comes from Cortex. So when you open a network with Gephi, you have this little window that may identify some issues. Some stuff is going on here, but you can basically ignore it. I'm going to create a new workspace, and here is my network, and it should kind of look like what you had in Cortex, because it's the same network. So as before, right-click on the background and move. So I am on a laptop with my Mac right now. So in this case, right-click is click with two fingers. So if I click with two fingers and I move, if you have a PC with a two buttons mouse, or even a Mac with a two buttons mouse, it's right-click and move. That's how you pan the view. And the scroll of the mouse, or in my case, because I have a trackpad, the two fingers up and down allows you to zoom in and out. The pinch zoom like this or like that doesn't work in this case. At least in this version, this is coming soon. But right now it's not in the current version, which is 0.10.1. So Gephi is not yet version 1. It's like 15 years old, but it's still not fully satisfying as a piece of software, but it can be still used very much. So that's how you navigate the view. If you want to display the labels, you click here on this black T, and then something very ugly like this will happen. You need to control the labels. So first you need to control the size of the labels. So that's here. So let me put something smaller. But also I would like to have the labels scaling with the size of the nodes, because the size of the nodes is often a proxy for the importance of a node. So I'm going to go node size in this little black A, node size. And then I have bigger nodes with bigger labels, which allows to have some hierarchy in the visualization. So then the more important nodes take more space and you have less brain energy to invest into understanding what is going on. So this looks that it's the forest thing, forest data, forest vocabulary. And what is this? Sock stock, I don't know what that is, organic carbon. And then there is something going on with air temperature. Remember, these were keywords from abstract from papers about climate change of 10 years ago. So same as before, if you want to change the layout, it's on the left, layout, first atlas 2, run, and then you have your layout going on. Same as before, you may want to intervene on some settings to have a better visualization. There is an entire know-how about this that I don't have the time to tackle now, but there are ways to manipulate that to get better visualizations, or you can just stick to whatever Cortex has given you, but sometimes you don't have a layout and you need to apply one. And then you have the colors. So basically, you can go here with this little palette, nodes. So I want to apply something to the nodes, the color, this little palette, and then I could apply unique color. So say everyone is red now, apply, everyone is red. Partition, so you will put color as a function of categories. So maybe I have something called category here. I don't know what that is. No, everyone is in the category. Not good. But I have something called community. No, community is empty. Community orphan, that looks better. Let me pick a palette, up, apply. And yeah, these were the categories I had in the very beginning. And I could change the colors. So basically, if you want to manipulate the colors in Gephi, you have all this, you have this little button palette here where you can even go and generate. So I have like 11 values. And maybe 11, if I look at this, maybe I don't need colors for everyone. Maybe I need colors for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 first, the one that are more than 10%. So I would be generating like only 5 colors default, and this would be my colors, and the rest would be gray. And I could go from different palettes. Why not this one? Apply. Yeah. So those are the colors, or I could use colors as a function of a ranking. So for example, the degree. And then I will go from yellow to green. And then the high degree nodes, let me hide the labels, are dark green, and the low degree nodes are yellow. So this entirely depends on your data set. If you have metadata here that are relevant to you, in this case, it's been generated by Cortex because the data points are not my initial data points. My initial data points were articles. Those data points are, the nodes here are the keywords extracted, and the keywords don't have many attributes attached to them. But if you had different ways to make a network, I will show you one after with a table to net. Your data points could be different, and they may have metadata attached to them. This same logic applies to the size of the nodes. If you may have a good metadata, a good attribute to map, I can go here and I have everyone size 10, but I usually want some emphasis on certain nodes. So I would, like before, go for degree. And then I will have the small nodes with a small degree, maybe too small here. So I'll go minimum size 5, maximum size 50. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, too big. The small ones are a little bit too big too. So maybe 3 to 15. I am more happy with this. So the size is now the degree. And I can here on the bottom control the size of the labels, but also the size of the edges. So the edges also seem a little bit big to me. Yeah, now I can zoom and see what is going on. So attributes, appearance here, color and size, layout here. And then on the right here, you have two things you can manipulate, filters. So let me show you one filter. I will they are sorted out in little folders like this. You can go into topology, and then you can take degree range and drag that here. And then you can filter the nodes by degree. So for example, if I take only the nodes with the highest degree, so it means those who have more neighbors. This is what I have. So I have filtered down my network, removing the nodes with a degree that is not high enough. Conversely, I could remove the node that have a high degree, and then I would see another kind of more local structures. Hop, hop. And you can activate and deactivate the filter. And you have filters for many other things. So I can, for example, remove the filter and instead use a filter using an attribute. I could go, okay, partition. I have seen that my colors, the colors I had before, were working with the orphans, community orphan. I don't know what that is, but my filter is here. I can see here my partition, and I can say, okay, now I want to see just that group and that group. And you don't know what is what. You have to try, but so you can display certain groups and not others, or whatever attributes you have with your node. So this is the filtering system. And then you can compute statistics. Let me compute one. The page rank is the algorithm used by Google to rank their pages in their search engine. Initially, it's based on a network, so you can apply it. It's in there. If you don't understand the settings, just say yes. I have a page rank, and the page rank is kind of like the degree, but a little bit different. It gives something to certain nodes. So for example, here I have the size of the nodes by degree right now, but now I can fetch the page rank. It has appeared now in my data because it's been computed. And I had said before that it was like 3 to 15, so I'm going to do the same. And it's slightly different. I don't know if you see the nodes change. Back to degree, back to page rank. So in this case, the degree and the page rank are very similar. I'm going to show you another one, a classic one. This one is hidden within network diameter. So I'm going to run network diameter. And then it's going to give me an attribute named betweenness centrality. And this one, I'm also going to be from 3 to 15. This one is different because instead of finding the highly connected nodes, it finds the bridges, which sometimes are the highly connected ones, but sometimes not. I can already see that air temperature will remain a very big bridge, but let's go for it. Yeah, so now this one, so air temperature is a bridge, it's connecting clusters together, but organic matter is also a bridge. And this one, land use, is also a bridge. So it gives a very different notion of importance than the degree. Degree, betweenness. So you can compute different kinds of statistics, and they give you certain aspects on your data, and all of this is going on here in the statistics panel. And once you compute them, they are added as column to attribute columns for your nodes and sometimes your edges, and then you can use them here in appearance. Actually, in Gephi, you can also go into the data laboratory and you can see your list of nodes, and you can cluster them by different things. So for example, I don't, it's no, betweenness is here. Or is it? Yeah, this was the betweenness computed by Cortex. So Cortex does betweenness right away, and I recomputed it. And you cannot show that many columns here. So what happens is in the little light bulb on the top right, you can actually hide some stuff that you're not interested in, and then show some stuff you are interested in. Yeah, so that's where you pick the columns to display here. And then you have more things going on. There's a lot of things going on in Gephi. It's very deep software. You can operate on the table here. You can merge columns, clear columns, and all of this. The buttons are basically self-explanatory. I'm just going to show you the 3 big parts. Overview is where you do most of your interactions. Data laboratory is the spreadsheet view of the nodes or the edges. And you can choose that here. And the preview, the third part of Gephi, is where you can generate a picture to export. So you have to click on refresh, and it will generate this. And you have, my dataset is small, but if your dataset is very big, sometimes it takes time to render it. That is why you have this slider that allows you to render only a part, like a sample of your network. It makes no sense for me right now, but it would make sense if I had a very big network. And then you have some presets. So straight edges, curved edges, straight edges, text outline, You have different settings you can see here, and you can manipulate them. They are self-explanatory. If you uncheck show labels, you will not show the labels. You can change the font by going into another font, and so on and so forth. Yeah, this is for you to tune the export of the map to your liking to have something nicer. And then once you're done, you can click on this button on the bottom left, export as typically a PDF. Then you can open it. So that's essentially how you operate Gephi. And Gephi is exploratory, I believe. So you will most often use it to explore your data, less often to make a map that you want to share with people. But if that happens, that's good, but it's more difficult. Most of the time, you just want to read stuff yourself, which means that, let me show you another little tool. You have a few tools here on the left. Some of them, so you have like a selection tool where you could modify the nodes on something like this. But there is a good one, which is the little arrow with the question mark. It's just here. If you click on this and then you click on a node, it will show you all the properties here, and you can edit them. So this node, organic matter, you see it comes from, look, you see the cluster, where it comes from, and so on and so forth. If I wanted to rename the label, I could, and I could change some of the metadata here. So you could do some form of coding if you wanted to. You could edit your clusters, or you could take notes in this if you wanted to. So it's a useful tool to explore your data.